Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, I am audible.
We'll wait for a few minutes, then we'll start.
Sure, sure. Let me know once we are ready.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, and you can start now.
Yeah, okay, Ahmed. Thank you. So good evening, everyone who is connected today again, and let's discuss today on about day 4 of our journey. Today, we are slowly moving to the completion of our full stack course understanding. So hope my audio is clear and everybody can hear me loud and clear. Just confirming, guys, and I'm going to share my screen. So you can confirm that as well if you can see my screen and you can listen to me clearly. Okay, guys, can you please confirm quickly? My screen is up and you can listen to me or everything is fine. Okay, I can see some responses. Okay, good evening everyone. Hope you guys are well and ready for today's session also. Yesterday we covered mostly of what did we cover, guys, yesterday? Before that we start, I want to listen from you guys. What did we cover yesterday? Just a quick recap. Java. Okay, I'm seeing some responses in the chat. What else, guys? What did you see in Java? Inheritance, React also we saw. Gotham says React. Yes, we saw some introduction to React also. Okay. Inheritance. Okay. Okay. Components in React. Okay. What else, guys? So mostly what all the things we covered. High level. Okay. React router for navigation. Yes, correct. Gotham, you are correct. Okay. Yes, so you guys are correct. So I think you guys remember mostly. So yesterday, yes, more polymorphism also, data types. Correct, Lakshmi. So related to Java, mostly we covered mostly Java yesterday, and that is what where the most of the processing happens. Front-end side, the side or the layer which is visible, and the backend where mostly the data gets processed, and we have to put little extra efforts how to get the data processed, and that process data you have to throw it to the user, and that you can design it using HTML and CSS. And one more thing we saw yesterday called as React. So why do we use React? For breaking it to small components, right? For reusability. Correct, guys? Remember, the whole HTML, even single header can be broken, single paragraph can be broken, and you can use it again and again whenever you need it, wherever you need it. Okay, that's what all about React and Angular. It makes your coding very much flexible and modularized. You can simply break the website into small pieces. Okay, so today what we are going to see in our day 4, let me make it full screen. Okay, so we are going to see today Angular. Okay, any idea, guys? I have already repeated many number of times what is Angular. So any idea what it is? What is your understanding about Angular? If you know, you can quickly ping in the chat. Any idea? Angular, AngularJS, anything? Yes, no? Guys, Angular is the framework. Then what about React? What about React? No problem, Lakshmi. We are going to cover it. Don't worry. That's why we are here. React, at least you know, right? Is it a framework or is it a library? I repeated that yesterday. React is a library, right? Yes. So you guys remember. So today we are going to see something called Angular. This is also a language, you can say, which is actually a framework. It's not a library. So this is also used to design your front-end application. Okay. So using Angular also, you can design whatever you can do through React, no? You can do through Angular also. So Angular is little complicated, you can say little complicated compared to React. Okay. But the syntax and all, if you know JavaScript, you know Angular, you know React, because all of them are built on top of Angular only. Okay. So AngularJS and Angular, I will see that also. So what I am saying is React and Angular, both are used for creating the front-end layer, for designing your front-end layer. And why do we need it? to break the front end into small component, right? I don't want to write a single HTML page consisting of 10,000 number of lines. I want to have 10 lines of small pieces, and I want to use those 10 lines of pieces or one line of piece of code as a component. Correct? That's what we did with React, no? Same thing you can do with Angular also. The syntax here and there is little different. That's all. Okay. There are many differences, but since we are just starting, I just gave you a heads up. Okay. Got some idea what's Angular? Similar to React. For now, you think like this only. Okay. We'll see the syntax and all. Some concepts will go in detail Angular today, and whole session will be focusing on Angular itself. Fine, guys. Shall we proceed? Yes, no. I need some responses, guys. So today will be some colorful day, okay? Don't worry. Today will be colorful day. Today will be theories, but it will be colorful. It's not like yesterday. You will have to think what will happen in the backend, how object is getting created, how all those things and all. Today you will be seeing some colorful things, some animations, some designs and all. And we'll be creating some projects also. And I have some projects for you as well. So let's quickly move it to the introduction. So like I said, Angular. First thing, it's used for creating single page application. We covered this topic also yesterday, single page application and multi-page application. Okay. So using Angular or React, you can create single page application. For that, we are using Angular. Okay. Here guys, so this is the best choice. If you want to create a single page application, you can go for Angular or you can go for React. Anything is fine. Okay. So this is about introduction. Let's see if you remember this diagram or not. So if you remember it, you can tell me in which layer we are discussing now. Are we discussing something about client side or server side? Just ping in the chat. Where this Angular resides, this side of the internet or this side of the internet? Client side or server side? Angular. It's a front end or back end, guys? Angular is used for front side or front end or back end? We just started. Client side, right? So since the client side, whatever you see for the visibility, for the designing, for that side, we are using no Angular or React. Java and all these things come in the server side. Okay. So the correct answer is in the client side. Okay. So this is where you will be implementing your front end component. I mean, this front end language, which we are going to explore now, it is called Angular. Okay. Clear, guys? Not on the server side, guys. Okay. Client side. Server side is where data processing happens, the invisible part you can say. Okay. This is the internet. This you can think as a boundary. This side, whatever happens is the backend. This side, whatever happens is the client side. Okay. Clear? All good? Yes, no? No confusions now, right? Okay. Okay, so let me move to the next slide. We have some pictures. Let's see quickly. You can just focus on the diagram also if that is more easy for you. So it's this Angular consists of mod MVC architecture. We'll see this in detail. What is this MVC architecture? Something called as two-way binding. So a lot of words you will be seeing here. We will be exploring slowly these things in the upcoming slides. Okay. Something called as CLI, dependency injection. It has a low code framework. TypeScript, it has a rich ecosystem, this binding and all. So don't get confused with these words. It's okay. It's just like an introduction. So you are meeting some new person today. Think like this. And we are going to see how this person behaves, what are its features and parameters, how it works. That's what we are going to do today. Okay. Shall we proceed again, guys? Okay. So this Angular, you might have heard or not. It's okay if you not have heard. The older version, or when this Angular was implemented in the market, right? When this was launched, initially it was only called as Angular. Sorry, AngularJS. Okay, this was the name. But after the version 2, they keep on bringing new versions every time, every 6 months. Also, they keep on new versions. They keep on updating it. Okay. So the basic version when it was started was called as AngularJS. This was the basic version. This is where Angular was launched. After that, when the Angular version 2 and above, whatever is there in the market today, they are simply called as Angular. Okay. So these two Angular both actually are Angular only. The syntax wise and the performance wise, there is a lot of differences. This was the basic version from where they started. Okay. And this after this, the version number 2 and above, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all so on. This is simply called as Angular. Clear? Okay. So we know JavaScript now. Little bit we know JavaScript, right? So this AngularJS is built on JavaScript concept, and this Angular is built on TypeScript. Same thing, only some additional features are there. It's just a little bit advanced version. So you can think of this is basic version. So definitely it will be little slow, and it will have less features and less functionality. And the moment they keep on updating it, you can think it of like your mobile updates. Every time your mobile gives an update notification, right? And every time when an update comes, you keep on installing next, and something new happens. Either the UI changes or some functionalities start performing faster or all and all, right? So like that, this updates makes it more advanced. You can think of like that. Clear? Yes, no, all good. Connected with me so far, guys. Older one is called AngularJS. Newer one is called Angular. Simply Angular. That's all. So if someone says, Angular or not, just make sure what he is asking. Is he talking about the basic version or the new version? New version means 2 and above. Okay. 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 Let's move to the next slide. So this is how the older version. Let's see one by one. Since I told you, right, AngularJS and Angular, so simply Angular. These are two things. It's not same. So we'll see something about little bit, since anyways this is outdated, but still there are many projects in the industry which they are using AngularJS. So if you are going into industry, if you are interviewed and if you are selected for some project, if you know Angular, but they're using AngularJS, so you should know the basics of this also, no, to work there. We'll see something about it. Will not go much detail. We'll mainly focus on the latest features. Okay, but basics we'll see how it looks like, the code snippet and all. Same thing, exactly same thing. Little bit here and there, syntax will change in Angular. That's it. Okay, so let's focus on AngularJS first. Basics, how the code snippet looks like and how it works. So in this slide, you can see my screen. This is the code syntax and code snippet for AngularJS. Okay. You see, this is plain HTML. HTML script, body, everything you see is same. Okay, only new thing what you will see is something called as ng app. Ng stands for Angular. App stands for Angular application. The moment you write this attribute, no, it means now your HTML page has some features of AngularJS. This is an Angular application now. It's not a normal application now, normal HTML. Okay, clear? Yes, no? All good? These are all syntaxes of Angular, just like we learned Java, JavaScript, no? So this is syntax of Angular. You can think like this, AngularJS, sorry. Okay. Guys, some responses, yes, no, all good, connected with me so far. Getting it? Yes, no, I don't see any response. Okay, fine. Yeah, now I see some responses. So this tag, so mostly I'll be covering theory more because this Angular is little vast topic. Okay, so I'll try to explain little bit of everything, not in detail, but yeah, you will get at the end of the session, you will know at least what this Angular can do and what are the powers and benefits of using Angular. So let's not waste time. ng app you understood. Just marking your page as an Angular application now. There is something called as, this is a text field, right? ng model. So this is again an AngularJS attribute, you can say, or a syntax, and the placeholder is HTML only, nothing else. But here in the header, if you see, there are two curly brackets. Okay, these two curly brackets are Angular functionalities. What it will do, in the name, whatever you pass here, in the name, in the text field, whatever you pass here, this is getting binded. This is called binding. So whatever the value you pass here in the text field, whatever you pass here, that gets stored just like a variable called name. So this name is holding whatever you are typing here. This name, whatever you are typing here, is getting, it's something like a variable you can think of. And the moment you start typing, same time, this name will also get reflected here. If you start typing and editing, this hello will remain constant, but the name will keep on changing. The way you type, it will also change. Same, it will be in sync. Got it? So this is the syntax of AngularJS. Here, guys, something little bit. Don't think 100% you will understand, but at least hope you are following the flow and all. Clear? Okay, okay, good. You guys are following it. Yes, yes, I can see your responses. Fine. So let me quickly jump to next slide. So here again, some definitions and all. You can take this as a notes, and if you are preparing for some your interviews. So yeah, it's just AngularJS extends HTML. So you will be seeing this something called ng app. We just saw, right? And the model where you are binding the elements, and ng bind where you are going to display using curly braces. This is what we saw now. Okay. So let's see some difference. Just yesterday we covered what is React and what is Angular. So we'll see the differences. What is the difference between React and Angular? So React was created by Facebook and Angular is created by Google. Okay. And this also, you know, React is a library. This is the definition. By definition, you can say Angular by definition is a framework. React works on JavaScript and Java extended, and Angular works on TypeScript. Okay. In terms of binding, you saw just one snippet, right? You are writing something in the text field and something is getting changed below immediately. That is called binding concept. So it can be two-way, either from one component to another component, parent to child, or from child to parent. If it is one directional, it is called unidirectional. And if it is in both ways, it is called two-way binding. These are just the differences. You can remember that, and when you start working on this, no, you will just understand this. You don't need to buy heart also. Okay. Yeah, but from interview point of view, you should know the differences. They can ask what is the difference between React and Angular. Okay. Clear? All good, guys? Yes, no? I don't see any responses, guys. Hope you are following up, or is it getting boring again? Okay, you guys are following, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So let me jump to the next slide. So this is what we just discussed called binding. You can see here, same example, same thing. We just use ng bind. This is kind of binding this variable or element you can think of as an attribute. So this ng model name, and this name sits here. So here there are three paragraphs. First paragraph, this is the text, input something. Second paragraph, name, and then a text field. In that I have an ng model name. So whatever you give the value here, this value will bind. So either curly braces you can use or ng bind you can use. Anything is fine. So both will be binded. You edit here, it will reflect here also. Clear? Let's move to the next slide. So you can see with the below animation also, this will make some sense. So ng app, ng init, you are just giving some name, and this is getting initialized. It's just binded. Whatever name you gave here, this is binding in the paragraph. So this is the output. Okay. Here also with some logic, bind means, Sakshi says bind means it's like just linking. Binding means you can think of, okay, you can see this screen, right? Here only you can see what is bind. So there is a paragraph, right? You can see there is a p tag. Inside paragraph, there is it says the name is, and there is something value called John. So from where this value is coming? This John is coming from this ng init, right? So this is in the ng init. Using ng init, you have initialized first name to John. So you are binding this value here in the span tag. So this is called binding. Got it, Sakshi? Okay, so that's what we are doing here. Binding, one-way binding, two-way binding. We'll see in detail. So hope you got some idea with binding. Okay. Okay, let me move to the next slide. You will see a lot of example snippets here that will make more clear to you. Okay. So here in this, you can see this is another alternative way. Same way, we have an ng app. You can write instead of ng app, you can write data-ng also. So anything is fine. This is optional. Okay. You can write data-ng-app or only ng- is also fine. Okay. Only thing is, if you don't write data, you will be getting some warnings in the HTML. That's all. So both are fine. Clear? Clear, guys? Hope you are following up. It's little colorful today, right, compared to yesterday. Let me quickly move to the next slide. Same way. Now we have something called as an expression. So in this, again, this is an Angular application. Okay, ngF defined, and in the paragraph, I'm writing my first expression. Within curly brackets, whatever you write, it will just do the evaluation. So 5 plus 5 is 10. You can do something like this. Okay, here, guys, getting the snippets and understanding the flow. Here, don't worry about all the lines in one day. It's not easy to remember, but hope you are understanding the flow. Okay, so this is what we are discussing now about all about AngularJS. This is the older approach. Now Angular is there in the market. Okay, Angular 2 and above. Okay, let's see some more examples here. So again, ng app name is there. Two paragraphs. One paragraph one, paragraph two. So paragraph one says name. You can say name, and in the text field, I'm passing coding is fun and so easy. And same thing, I'm binding it in the paragraph. I'm not writing the content here. This content is getting binded through this ng model. Okay, so you can see below, this content is getting binded from here to this paragraph. Clear? Getting it? Okay, and in the below example also, whatever we understood so far, some binding and some expressions they have given combinedly. It's just whatever you give the value and you keep on adding and populating it, it will keep on changing. So you can see this is how it is becomes dynamic. The page becomes so much dynamic. That's the beauty of Angular. Okay, it makes your page more interactive, more user friendly, and the user experience become richer. Okay, let's see what we have next. So whatever we discussed so far, you are giving some values, and there is a front end value goes to the back end. Some Angular model is there, something called as TypeScript is there, some JavaScript is there. From there, the value gets processed. Again, it sends back to the HTML. Again, user sends it. So this keeps on happening, no? So this is what we can visualize it through something called as MVC architecture. You are just designing your application, how it looks like. So we can say it MVC, model, view, and controller architecture. There is a user, he sees something in the screen and he does something, he sends some data, he performs some action, and the value goes to the controller. From the controller, the value is sent to the model which we have created. This model, if required, connects with the database. The response comes from the database, model gets modified, and user sees a new view again through the controller. So this is the MVC architecture. Getting it, guys? In the browser, you send something, the model gets updated, value states change, whatever we did so far. So here only database is coming into picture. Okay, clear? Getting some idea, guys? MVC architecture? Yes, no? Model view controller? Okay. Guys, yes, no? I need some responses. Okay, okay. Now I can see some responses. Fine, fine. So you guys are following it up. Okay, let me then just little speed up then. You guys are following it very well today. So now Angular architecture, it's similar to that only. We have something called when you create a folder and the project, no, you will see something like that index.html. From here, the control goes to the module, HTML module, and then we have something called components. To break your HTML elements into small components, right? Then this components, if need some service, they will communicate with each other, or some other items are there. But yeah, that's how it's breaking. HTML module component service, and this is the layer. How this is the tree structure, you can say. Okay, so this is the application architecture of Angular. Let me move to the next slide, and you can see you perform something, the values gets changed. This is what is called as binding. Okay, so this is the Angular architecture, guys, making it more simpler now. So you have something that called as view. In this view, you will have HTML and CSS. Then whatever you do in this view, something you put in the text field, press some button, submit some data in the form, and send it to the Angular controller. In the controller, there will be either JavaScript or some functions or APIs. APIs means some coding you have done, some services you have written using Java or some other language. So using any of these, the value will, the request will go to the server. Server will process it. Take an example of login. I'm doing login here in the view HTML. Send my username password. My username password comes to the controller. Controller sends it back to my Java program. My Java program checks it from the database. If it finds I am a valid user, it will send the response back to the controller, and it will send a model. It will make the model ready for me. The model gets ready, and again the view is sent back to the user. So this is what the Angular architecture looks like. Okay, clear, guys? Yes, no? Quick response. You have to cover a lot of topics. Yes, no, guys? Guys, okay. So let's jump to some other examples similar to that. You can see two text fields, model binding, and the values are getting displayed. First name and last name. Simple, like the previous examples. So what is there now in Angular 8? Okay, so after Angular 2 and above, they are called simply Angular. Angular 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this, it will be keep going. Okay. So it's very similar to the previous versions, only some new features are there. That's all. And that's the basic introduction to Angular. And the performance will definitely increase going forward, and things will become more simpler with the new versions. Okay. Let me move to the next slide. So what do we have in Angular which are new? Same thing, module components. You can see, right? These are all coming from the previous Angular only. So we have template. These are something new they have added. But overall, if you see, everything remains same. Metadata, data binding, something called as directives are there, services are there. These all things were there in Angular also. But yeah, this is more simplified and more faster, and comes with more new features like you can see in this slide. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's move to the next slide. So we'll start programming also, like we install Java, Eclipse, and all those things, and HTML and all. So for using Angular, you need something called as Node.js. Node.js is another software you have to install. It's used for package management, and some Node modules comes with this. So we need to download this in our system. Okay. To use Angular, you need to have Node.js in your system. Okay. This is just a software. Okay. I told you, right? To make something, some dish, you need some utensils of that particular kind. So like that, this is one of the requirement. We need this node in our system. Okay. So this is what the newer version of Angular you will see. The syntax will look something like this. There will be something called component, and there will be a class. Inside that, you will be having these variables initialized, some functions, and in the template, you will be seeing the HTML pages. So this will be the similar structure. So only syntax will change. I told you, right? Everything looks same only. So this is just a snippet to give you an overview how it will look like in coming slides and when you start working with it. Okay, cool, guys. Yes, no, connected, catching up. Okay. Okay, Gautam says yes. Okay, guys. Let me move to the next slide. So yeah, like I said, you need Angular. So you have to go to this site, nodejs.org, and compatible to your system and version. And OS, just download it. Okay, once you download it, you will see something like this. You have to just write this command in your console, ng version. hyphen version. And if you see this screen, you are good to go. You are good to start with your Angular journey. Okay. Okay, let me move to the next slide. So how do we create our first application? This we will try it out after the session. No, we'll just try it out because theories will make you boring and sleepy. So we'll try this creating our application. I'll try to run it and show it to you how quickly and how easily you can create within seconds and minutes. You can create your application, the application which is ready to run in the production. You can make it live immediately. Something like that you can create within minutes. Okay. So you just downloaded Node, and this is the syntax. Ng, like I told you, stands for Angular. New is a keyword, and you can give any name like weather forecasting app, Facebook app, Amazon app, Mintra app, name of your application, what you want to create, for which you want to create the front end. This is the syntax. Give this command and start. And this all things we have to do from command line. I will show you, that will make more easier. So once you create it, you will get some screen like this. So all the files will be created for you. You don't need to do anything. HTML will be created, CSS files will be created, TS, like I said, TypeScript will be created, modules will be created, and the folder structure will look something like this. Okay. And after this, if you remember which one editor I told you called Visual Studio, open it and start writing your code, playing with the code, and design it as you want it. Integrate it with the backend if you have created something, some application in backend. So just play with that. That's what we are going to see in the coming slides. Okay, but before that, let me quickly show you the folder structure. These are the files that will be getting generated. Once I show you in the program, no, that will make more sense. So yeah, these are the files. When we open it in the editor, it will look something like this. Okay, we'll see something high level. For the starting program, like in Java, we used to write hello world program. No, here also we'll just write welcome to Angular program, something like that. We'll create something. So when we come to the practical session, we'll see. So once you create it, install it and run it, your application will simply start. You can see it will run on some port number, default port number 4200, and you will see an HTML page getting generated with some links. Once this is created, delete the content of this page and design this page as you want, just like Amazon or Flipkart or whatever you want to create. Got it? We'll see this. How do we create it using all these commands, ng serve, ng new, all these things we are going to see in the upcoming sessions. Clear, guys? Connected with me so far? The colorful journey of Angular. Hope you started getting some interest now after seeing some images and all those things. No? Okay. Theory will be little boring, I agree, but you should know the basics, no, before starting the items in your plate, right? So we'll go with some more topics, okay? And then we'll see the practical sessions. Clear, guys? So architecture we already saw. I will not repeat these things again for your notes. You already saw this is the architecture. And we call as something as components. We create components. We'll create components means like I told you, we are breaking the HTML page. So think of like Amazon page. In that you have an electronic section. Then you have kitchen items. Then you have personal care and all. Then what else? What else we have, guys? I'm forgetting. Can you quickly give me some examples? What are the sections we have in Amazon? I can recall only 3: kitchen, electronics. What else we have? Guys, some responses in the chat. What are the sections you see in Amazon or Flipkart shopping list? Electronics, that is done. What else? What else, guys? Can you ping in the chat? 1, 2, anything? Groceries, correct, Gautam. Grocery section is there. Dresses is there. Yeah, yes. So if you see this, whatever you guys are pinging in the chat, right? I can create separate component, small application, small HTML for your groceries, for your dresses, for electronics, for medicines. I can create small applications. Application means in the sense small UI, small screens, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This grocery will have, it's like a small project in itself. This dresses is like a small project in itself. At the end, I'm just going to throw everything to the Amazon main page. Correct. So whatever you guys are pinging, that's correct. But you got the intention, right? Whatever you are pinging, no, these are like an individual application in itself. It will have its own HTML, its own JavaScript, its own design CSS, its own images, its own styling and everything. Just at the end, put everything to the main application, the parent application. So at the end, it gets integrated, right? So if something goes wrong in dresses section, my grocery section will not be impacted. Or if something goes wrong in grocery section, my electronic section will not get impacted. But in the traditional approach, if you have everything in one single HTML, if one thing goes down, whole application breaks, whole design breaks, right? So that's why we are focusing on breaking the component of the front end. It maintains easily maintainable code becomes, and then you can design also easily. One person can work on grocery, one person can work on pharmacy. So you can think like you can just see how much useful it is, whether it is React or whether it is Angular. Got it, guys? Understanding something? Yes, no? Guys, I need some responses. Okay. Okay, TypeScript is just like JavaScript only, Lakshmi. It's just an advanced version of that. Okay. Just like JavaScript. Same things, whatever you can do in JavaScript, you can do something more in TypeScript. That's all. Okay. Let's see the next slide. So how these components actually communicate with each other. So with this slide, you can get some idea. Like I have a page in that there are small applications. Okay. So these are all small components. Okay. So from one component, how the communication is happening to another component. You can see if you update in just one component, the child components gets updated. Got it? So that's the beauty of breaking the components. You break the component into small pieces, make change in one place. Like if suppose you want a title bar or some panel in all the pages, you want the discount section in all the pages, you want some user information in all the tabs. Take that tab and put it in the parent tab and just import it. So it will reflect in all the tabs or all the components, rather you can say, right? Got some idea, guys, of the view, how this helps in breaking your application? Clear? Yes, no? Okay. Okay, that's why I have given more animations here so that you can relate it with whatever boring theories I'm speaking. Because if I keep on speaking, no, you guys will start sleeping and like you curse me or whatever. That's fine. But with animations, I am saving myself. Okay, and you can visualize it. The concept you can visualize. Okay, let's see these modules. Just like I said, same way. You can see different sections. Each section is like a component. The JavaScript itself is a component. Angular itself is a component. So this is a web page. In this web page, small components make an entire application. That's the beauty of React or Angular. Each component will have its some own service or its own modules, right? You can use one component within another component. They can communicate with each other. So everything is possible. Okay. Got it? Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so when you open the code base, no, it will look something like this. So this is some random application. This contact is one component. Shared is one component. So like this different component and these different modules can be used here and there. So everything is possible. How? You are just breaking it and just break it, import it here, export it there. One module item, you can use it in another module, import from here to this module. In one module, you can have your component, you can have your code, service, HTML. Just break these things as small pieces and reuse it. All about reusability, all about breaking the HTML into smaller segments or components. That's the whole thing React or Angular is doing in one word. You can say that. Okay. Cool, guys. Okay, fine. Let's see what we can see now. We can see something called as template. These are all Angular, you can see terms, terminologies you should know. So slowly you are getting introduced to these things. Data binding, you already got some idea. You are going to see something more in detail. Something called as event binding, something called as property binding. Two types of binding are there. Okay. So these two types of bindings are there in Angular. So how your app responds is called to some event is called event binding. And when some property data is passed from one property to another element in the HTML, that is called as property binding. Okay. You can see below is an screen. I'll just say it for you. Okay. You see, you click on something. I click on an event. I click on an event, and here some event is getting binded. Event, and this is binding. The data is getting binded. So property and event both are shown in one slide only. Okay, something, some action user performs, and in this paragraph or div or spread, whatever they have given here, the values are getting changed. With some event, property is getting changed. Event binding, property binding. Got it? Here, we'll see with code also. This but you should visualize first how it actually looks like. Okay. Then sometimes what happens, your services are there, no? One component needs some service. So initially, how it works without services, I mean without service and dependency injection, and how it works with service and dependency injection. So you can see this. It will make more easier, more maintainable code. Okay. Getting it, guys? With dependency injection, it becomes very easy. You can directly mock the module. But without dependency injection, it's very difficult to manage the code. Okay. Now something called as routing. What is routing? Routing we already saw for React also we covered something yesterday, no? Same in the browser. You click on something and it opens in a new tab or it refreshes. So which application is good, guys? With the one which keeps on refreshing or one which changes its content without refreshing? Single page application, multi-page application. We covered yesterday, no? So in both cases, single page application or multi-page application, both cases routing is happening. Only difference is whether the page is refreshing or not. Correct? That's where we focus because that will impact the performance, right? Getting it, guys? Understanding? Yes, no? Okay, guys, I'm not seeing any responses. You guys are there, right? I'm audible, no? Hello, guys. Can you please confirm? I'm not seeing any response, guys. I'm sure if I'm audible. Okay, Sudhakar says yes, yes. Okay, okay, Aniket. Yeah, thanks, guys. So this is what is called as routing. In for routing, you can see with this animations, you can understand more clear. See, there are some links here in this page. Okay. So if you see the URL also, just see the URL, how the URL is getting changed. Home, products, contact us. The moment you create, the page is not getting refreshed. Page is not getting refreshed. You can see this page is not getting refreshed. Same page, the content is getting changed. Okay, routing is happening. Routing is happening, but it doesn't look like the page has refreshed. But as an end user, you can think of like the data got changed, so routing happened. So this is the beauty of routing of in single page application. Okay, you will get the benefit of refresh also, and the page will not refresh also in real actually. Data will get refreshed. This is called a single page application, and this is performed using Angular routing. We'll see with these things with code if possible. But yeah, high level you can visualize it, right? Here, guys. Okay. Okay. Now let's see something called as directive. So in this Angular, we have something called as Angular directives. What are they? You remember this DOM model, the tree-like structure we have from HTML body head. So to manipulate this, we are using something called as directives. Okay. We'll see quickly what are the directives available in Angular. So we have something called they will actually change the behavior of the components and structures, how the elements will behave in the front end. Okay, we'll see something called as component directives and structural directives. In this, we are going to see ngIf, ngSwitch. This is just like if switch to remember JavaScript or Java or C. Same things are there. Depending upon some condition, the view will get changed. That is all about directive, guys. Okay. If some condition is true, one particular kind of component will be visible. If not, another component will be visible, depending upon switch condition. Then for, if you have a list of items, 10 items, I don't need to write 10 items 10 times. Rather, I can use for loop, kind of for loop. It's like a for loop only. So these are the directives. Okay, here you can see here with if it's checking some condition and it's printing the element, you can see the view gets changed. Okay, and in the second one, it's picking some color. On the basis of that particular color, the highlights are getting changed. Okay, so this is all possible with the help of HTML and TypeScript, not JavaScript, TypeScript. Okay, let's move to the next slide. If else, so here if you can see using asterisk, this is the syntax. Okay, these are all the syntaxes of Angular. So don't get worried. High level, if you can understand, with practice, you can write this code by yourself. Okay. So if this condition is true, if some condition is true, I want to display this paragraph. If condition is false, display whatever I have in this paragraph. So using this conditional block, you can define your template. So if the condition whichever is true, that particular paragraph will be visible, or else other one will not be visible. Got it? Depending upon the condition, the paragraph gets changed. Okay. This for loop, like I said, if you have list of items, okay, so this is the syntax. Let items of items, this is just a syntax. If items has 10 elements, say 10 fruits, so you can just using this item variable, you can just print fruit in one shot. You don't need to write 10 times. It's just like writing for loop for int I is equal to 10 and print 1 to 10. It's similar to that. This is the syntax of Angular. Okay, I'm saying again, if you're not following everything, no worries, but you compare it with what JavaScript and React, whatever we understood yesterday, high level. Okay, getting it, guys? Understanding? Yes, no, all good. Any questions, doubt? Am I running fast? Theory is getting overloaded. You guys are bored. Tell me anything. You are not understanding at all. That is also fine. Ping me in the chat. Guys, following whatever we are going through, Angular front end, how to design. Okay, Sudhakar, thanks for responding. Yes, Gautam, I can see. Okay, this will not print. This will not print. You have to write the expression using items. We'll see some syntaxes. Okay, but we'll see. So yeah, you can see here like this. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movies are there with their own details. This is a TypeScript. Okay, TypeScript is this one is the TypeScript within curly. This is just a snippet. It's not the full code. Okay, with this you can get some idea. So there are 4 movies. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 colors, 4 movies. 4 different movies. And the movie template I have created here. In like class is a template in Java. Similarly here also template. It has title, director, cast, and release date. So I'm creating a table. Okay, table header, table row, and table data, tabular data, right? So in that, I don't want to write 4 times. This 4 times, one Batman, Captain America, X-Men. I don't want to write 4 times. What I will do, I'll put this in the list called movies. Okay, and in this movies variable, this is style. So this movies is holding all the items, whatever you have here. And if you just write movie.title, movie.director name, so this will repeat. It will keep on repeating depending upon the number of movies you have here. You don't need to write 10 times or 100 times. This will take care. This 5 lines of code will take care. Just like a for loop. Got it? This is just the syntax of Angular. Every language will have its own syntax. No, guys. So something will be different. No, everything will not look like C++ or Java, JavaScript. This is Angular. It will have its own syntax. Okay. Got it? But yes, things will remain same more and all here and there. If you understand one thing, you can compare one language with another language, and then it will become easy for you to understand. Okay, got it? Clear, guys? Yes, no? I need some responses. Guys, all good? Guys, I don't see any response. Okay, okay, okay. So like another directive, switch directive, similar to that switch statement, depending upon the matching expression, that particular element will be displayed. If nothing is there, default element will be displayed. Just like switch statement, you guys might have seen in some object-oriented programming language. Okay, so this is Angular syntax. Let's see some more examples if we have. Yeah, okay, I have some examples for you. So you can see here, I have some items. Item 1, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, only 3. And by default, selected 1. And in this select is like a drop down kind of thing or some radio button. This select option is coming, no? So here in the options, again, you see option select item of items. This is like a for loop. So with this loop, these elements are getting displayed. Okay. And using switch, it is selecting the values. Okay, this is just a snippet. It's not the full code. Just to give you overview how the things work in JavaScript, sorry, TypeScript and in Angular. Okay. We discussed something called as data binding. Okay, so that's how this data binding looks: one-way data binding and two-way data binding. The view, whatever you see from the template and the model, the data gets updated, and whatever the user sees is called one-way data binding. If it happens in both the ways, this is called two-way data binding. We started with this only, right? Whatever you print, the values get printed. Okay, so two types of things: one-way data binding, two-way data binding. Okay. See, if you just edit it here, this is TypeScript, right? This is TypeScript. I'm changing it here, but the content is getting changed in the front end as well. So you can see how powerful this is, how the binding concept works. Okay, you simply change the state there, it will change the state in the front end also. Getting it, guys? Yes, no? Clear? Okay, let's move to the next slide. So yeah, the TypeScript or the file you saw, right? You just change it here. In the HTML, the changes are reflecting. So this is called as two-way binding. This happens in Angular. This is called as two-way binding. You change it here, the values get changes in the TypeScript also. This is called as two-way binding. Okay, both are possible. We'll see some more concepts and then we'll jump to programs. And data binding I already covered. So one-way data binding and two-way data binding. These two are the options of data binding in Angular. From model and template, the data gets merged and the view is displayed. Similarly, here also the same thing happens, but the reverse is also possible in two-way data binding. Okay, with programs it will be more clear. With if you start creating your applications and play with this editor, no, you will understand more. Okay. Now let's move to something called as string interpolation. What is string interpolation? It is again binding technique only. Same thing. So whatever you write it here, that was getting changed in the TypeScript, no? I want it to be displayed in the front end. Nothing like that, just expression tag, you remember, just curly braces, put it in the curly braces, you can see immediately the changes in the front end. Okay, this is called as an interpolation, string interpolation. Okay, clear guys? String interpolation. Whatever you do, the changes can be reflected in the front end immediately using the curly braces. This is called as interpolation. Within two curly braces, set of pair of two curly braces, you put your data that you can see here directly. Getting it? Yes, no? Gautam says yes. Others are not responding, guys. Only Gautam is following up, huh? Okay. Okay, let me move to the next slide. Guys, it's fine, right? You guys are following, you know? I'll show you one program also. You can try something of your own also later. Okay. So let me move to the next slide. So this is called as property binding. In this, you will bind one element's property to your component. How you will bind it? Using email value. You can see the syntax below, right? One second, let me show you. Same thing, similar kind of examples. I've kept more examples so that you can relate it. Okay. So using user.email, this is the property binding. I'm binding the property of email. So whatever you type here, immediately due to binding feature, you can see the reflected value in the below the text area. Okay. Let's see some more event bindings. So click on some value, get some value, click on it. I click on it, you will see the changes here. This is called as an event binding. On click of an event button, event is happening, and that event's value is getting catching it up here. So how I have done? We have something called as events. There are many events. Click function, mouse over. You saw some events in JavaScript, no? Similar to that, since this is based on JavaScript only, right? TypeScript is an extension to JavaScript, right? Or so it has more features compared to that, but yeah, the base remains the same. These functionalities remain the same. So only syntax is getting changed. Click function, key press, mouse over, uh, key release. Many events are there. Hover, link visited. Like I told you guys some events yesterday, no? Just on the basis of event, also we can bind the data. That is also possible. Okay. Now let's see something called as forms. So forms are where you capture data from the user. Correct. On change is also there, bottom. Many are there. Thanks for putting it. Okay. So when you collect data from the user in a form, this is called form. We have Angular provides its forms that it becomes very easy to capture the data and do the validation and design it very quickly with the templates and layout. So it provides two kinds of forms for handling the user data. One is called as reactive form. One is called as template driven form. Okay. We'll see in the next slides what are they and what are the differences and features. Okay. So template driven forms are little easy and but reactive forms, they are more scalable. Okay. And reactive forms are the forms which people prefer to use. Okay. This is just the sum of the differences. We'll see with examples. Let me move to the next slide. Okay. So that's how we do form handling. You can see a snippet below. To put something, if you put wrong data, the form will interact with you. This form is reacting to your inputs. Correct, guys? Yes, no? Whatever you do, this form is going to react. You might have encountered this kind of screen many times in day-to-day life. You fill something, it will say password incorrect or insufficient field or your length becomes more or something like that, invalid characters and all. The form starts reacting. Okay, these two kinds of forms, one where you define the template, that is called a template driven form, and one the form where the form reacts. One is synchronous, one is asynchronous. Okay, you'll see all these things in the next slides. So hope you are getting some idea, okay, how the form handling happens. Got it? This is the difference. You can take these notes for your interviews and for your learning. What is the difference between reactive form and template driven form? Okay. Let me move to the next slide. And finally, once you create your application, you have created a beautiful page with a lot of links and buttons, and you want to submit some data to the backend, or you want to get some data from the backend. Okay, those kind of things you can do with HTTP protocol using HTTP module. There is a module in Angular called HTTP module. Using that, you can do get, put, post, delete, all these kind of operations you can do. Okay, so this is the architecture where we started our journey. This is the front end layer, right? Once the front end layer sends the request, this REST APIs are running on some server. Okay, this is running on some server. This REST APIs are created using Java or some other languages. Suppose you want to submit your data of, or you want to create a new account on Twitter. So you log into your mobile Android application or desktop application. You submit the form. Form can be reactive or template driven. We just saw that, right? So from there, and that form is designed using HTML and all, using React or using Angular, anything they have designed it. You send the request from your Angular application. Let's take the example of Angular because we are discussing Angular here. So our Angular application will send the request to the Java application, which is hosted on some server. Here the data after validation, all kind of checks, it will come to the REST APIs, and this APIs will capture the data whatever you have sent, and it will try to push it into the database and store it. Next time when you want logging in, so you will use something called as GET protocol. For pushing the data, we use POST. Okay, it's POST protocol, POST method we use. And for getting the data, now you are going to log in. So you will give your username password. So with your username and password, this is going to check. It is going to get the detail of yours, right? So using get now, it will going to get your detail. And if you are a valid user, if you have given correct username and password, the one which you gave initially using post to create your account, if both matches, then you are a successful user and you can log into the application. Correct? That's how it works, no guys? The flow. Okay, so that's where you created your Angular application, which is running, and with that you are doing all these kinds of things. Okay, in the next pic you can see what do we have here. So yeah, your Angular application using HTTP REST protocol or HTTP request, you send it to your Java application. Okay, here some verifications happen, some password checking or OTP or something, all those things of kind of verification happens, and some email is sent for one time password and all those things are there, no? Some pass keys or something happen. Lot of ways are there to validate the user. Once these validations are done, the request is sent from the server, backend application Java program to the database or file server. From there, whatever you are doing, either get, post, you are updating something, that is called put. You are deleting something, your photo or something, that is called as delete. You are saving your photo, let's say photo will go and say get saved here. Okay, so like this, the flow of request happens, guys. Clear? Yes, no? All good? Interesting, boring? How is it, guys? Angular compared to whatever we covered so far, backend and all. Don't worry about the syntaxes. Slowly with practice, you will catch it up. But if you understood the flow, it will be very easy for you to start. Okay, guys, little bit interesting. Okay, path, yeah, fine. So once you start practicing now, you will just get addicted to coding actually. You will just simply, you will not sleep, you will start thinking only, where did I place the button? Where should I place the text field? All these things will come in your mind once you start practicing and once you get addicted to this. Okay. So let's move to the next slide. Then we have some fun fact. Like I told you, every time they keep on changing the versions. So every year they will keep on releasing new versions. So the basic version, AngularJS, was launched in 2010. Okay, you know, it was developed by Google, right? React by Facebook, Angular by Google. Okay, so these are the versions. You can see how big the community is and how it is growing. You can see the number of subscribers and users and applications and followers and ratings and all. So this is so much popular. If you know Angular with backend as a full stack, you are in high demand. Okay, the recruiters are just running behind people who know front end, back end, and who is an expert in Angular and something in backend and development. I mean database side as well. So that's what we are learning here, Angular, and that's why you should learn Angular. And this is just the versions I showed you. Okay, guys, catching it up. All good, interesting. We covered high level about Angular. Once you start deep diving into it, no, you can start one by one, word by word, keyword by keyword, syntax by syntax, program by program. Then you will slowly become expert. So if you understand this much, whatever we covered so far, no one can stop you from going becoming a pro. Okay, with practice, you will definitely going to make it. Only you have to practice more and just understand the concepts and keep practicing. These are some more fun facts you can see in my slide. So something called as CLI will use this command line interface, just like the black screen. Using this command line, directly you can start creating applications immediately. Okay. So now it's time for program. Hope you guys are ready to see and create your own program. If you have installed Node.js, like I told you, only you need Node.js and you are good to go. Okay, once you install Node.js. But before that, another question. Are you guys ready for a break? Yes or no? We can take a quick break, guys. 5 minutes break we can take. And then we can jump into programs and interview questions later. Okay? Fine, guys? You want 5 minutes break? Yes, no? Are you guys still there? Hello, 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 guys. I am not seeing, I can see response from Gautam. Yes, he is responding. Okay, Atharv, Par, Gayatri. Yeah, fine. So you guys want break or not, guys? 5 minutes break you need, or can we continue? Okay, I think we should take a break because you guys are looks like you are tired. So we'll just take a 5 minute break, okay? We'll just take 5 minute break and we'll start creating our application. It's 12 now. We'll start 15, 16. We'll start at after 5 minutes, okay? Let's take a quick break, guys. See you in 5 minutes. We'll start creating application through command line. Let's take a quick 5 minute break, guys. See you in 5 minutes. Guys, I'm back. Hope you guys are also back. Are you guys there? Time for program, quick program, and interview questions. That's what we are going to cover now. Okay, guys, I need some responses. Okay, Gayatri, Parth, yes. Thank you, guys. Thanks for confirming. So far we are good, right? You got some overview of Angular. Why do we need it to create small components, right? Reusable components. Correct. Okay. Okay. Yes, Kavita, I can see your message. Thank you. Thank you. Divya from YouTube. Yes. Thank you, Divya. Okay. Let's start looking at the creation of a program. So we just need what I said is something called as Node.js. We have to install that. I showed you in the link in the previous slide. So let me quickly create a folder. Inside that, we will create our first web project, Angular project, I can say. Let me see. We can create some demo workspace. I'm creating just a folder where I'm going to just a workspace where we'll create a program. Folder name can be anything. And in this folder, we are going to create some application. Immediately, we'll see the beauty of um, this command line and the node and Angular and Visual Studio. All these things are needed here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is in this part, you have to just click here and click, just type CMD, command prompt. It will open the command prompt in this particular path. Okay. Hope my screen is visible, guys. Yes, no. Can you confirm me quickly? Within 5 minutes, we are going to make an Angular application ready to run on server. Within 5 minutes max. We'll see the beauty of Angular now. Okay. Guys, yes, no. I need some responses. I'm not sure you guys are seeing my screen or not. Okay, guys, can you see my screen? I just opened the command prompt. Okay, cool. Yes, thanks, Jyoti, Shanti, Parth. So in this workspace I just created, we have to use the command called ng angular new, and let's give some name like ExcelR. It will ask for yes. First you have to install Node, and then all these things you have to do, Gautam. Okay, I have Node in my system. Okay, Node is there. I'll just show you Node minus version V. Okay, Node is some command I gave. So you can see I have Node version. Okay, I have Node already. Node.js you have to install. So this is the version 20 I'm using. I downloaded it for my system. Now we are going to create our first application. So I'm in this path. I'm going to write ng new, and let me give some name ExcelR. ExcelR hyphen say interview, or let's create something with food app, some food app, ExcelR food app. Okay, and we just hit enter, and it will ask you for a couple of options. We'll see. It's asking, would you like to add Angular routing? I don't want to write manually. I want to save time. I'll give yes. Okay, we'll ask a couple of more things. What kind of designing you want? CSS, SPS, these are all different formats. I'm taking CSS, hit enter, and you can see it started creating. So once it will install this npm node package manager, node will take care of creating it, and you can see in my path this food application is getting created. Okay, let me minimize it, and in parallel you can see what's all happening here. So it created a folder here. It's creating the project. Okay, it will take some time depending upon your system's configuration. Okay, it will take some time and it will create it for you. Once it is created, we are good to go. It's all ready. You can directly start using it. Okay, just give it some time, and once it's done, see, it created also. You will see something called package installed successfully, and these are the files and folders it created. Let me quickly open this folder for you, and you can see this folder created, and this is the project structure, right? I created demo workspace. Here I created ng new application name. It got created, and by default these many things came, just like your Java project and all we do, right? Any doubts so far, guys? All good? No need to worry what are these files and all. You can read it from the slides. For creating an application, you just need 2 minutes of your time. That's all. Okay, guys, all good so far? No doubts? Yes, no? Easy, fun? Okay, now what all things happen here? What I'm going to do, I want to see the code here. I want to see how my code looks like. I'm going to open this in, I'm going to open this in, see, I am in workspace, right? And here only I created my, this project, right? Correct, the ExcelR food app. I need to get into this. You have to use command called cd space. And now my path is changed from workspace. I'm inside my project now. Correct. Here you have to simply, well, before running that, let me quickly show you the code. Same thing you can open in your editor also. So here you have to just write, I'm in this path, right? And then you have to just write code space dot. What this command will do, whatever you are seeing here in your project, no, it will open the same thing in the editor directly. So I don't need to open the editor and then go to this path. I'm using the shortcuts. Okay, code space dot. This is for Visual Studio. It will open your code just in the editor. You have to just press yes, ignore this, and you can see your food app is there, right? Correct? Yes, no, guys, all good. I just opened the project in my editor. Nothing, no rocket science, simple. Copy pasted here and there, gave one command, code space dot, ng new, create my application. Yes, 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 yes. Select CSS default, da 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 da. Application is ready. Let's have a quick look. So these are the files and folders. It's getting created, something called as package.js. In this, all the versions and everything will be there. Angular node package manager has created for you. I will not bore you with these things. Let's quickly expand this folder called as source. Okay. In this source, you can see something called as an index.html. You are familiar with this, right? Okay. So here, what we are going to do, you are going to click on this index.html. Okay. You can see here something called as app root. App root file is there. Okay. In this app root, I am gonna, now let's move to this app folder. This will open. Let me open this app root. So here you have some component called app component. Okay, here you can see the files. Some content is there. Just 1 second, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry for the interruption, guys. So what I'm going to show you is I created the project, and let me quickly run this for you. I'll show you the files later. So what we did, we opened the folder, we opened the file in the editor, we opened the project in the editor. Now how to run this? There is a command called ng-ser, ng-ser and -o, it will open in the browser. Okay, I'm going to hit this, and let's see with doing this, what all things are happening. Okay, you can see your application is up and running, right? You just created your application and it's up and running. It's running on the same port. Okay. Yes, you can use code terminal also, Gautam, no issue. Anywhere you can run that code, that's fine. So your application is up and running and it's working fine. Correct? You just created your Angular application. Now what we can do, I'll just show you. See, everything is working. These links are there. They are given their own link. Now what you can do is you can delete this content and design your page as you want. You can create your button, you can create your link, header, footer, images. You are all good to go. Got it, guys? Any questions here? Yes, no, all good. Okay, fine. Okay, so let me show you the what can I show you now? The content. Let's see how this content is coming from, where this content is coming from. Whatever you are seeing here, no, in the front end. Whatever you are seeing here, these links and ExcelR code app is running, resources, next steps, and all these things, some header, footer. We'll delete this and we'll try to create something of our own. Okay, so where this is coming from, you have to go into source, and here index.html is app root. Inside HTML head body, simple HTML, right? So I told you, right? This React and Angular, it's just like using components, no? So there is something called as app component. App component. This is one component. They have created. You can create 100 components. Okay, you can create 100 components. So this app component is having the design which is responsible for this look. This app component. There will be some component called app.html. In that app.html, whatever is written there, because of there, these things are happening here. Okay. Let me show you this app component where it is. You have to go this. You can see this app here, right? This is the parent component. If you expand this, again inside that there is an HTML file. Correct? You can see I got some HTML here. It says, let me start from beginning. Some styling, CSS we already covered. Ignore the CSS. Let's focus on the content. So there is a div, and here you can see a welcome. Something called as welcome. Let's see where we can see welcome or not. Where is welcome? I am not seeing. Okay, I think this is the welcome. Okay, you can see, right? One welcome tag. Yes, no, all good. Getting it from where this content is coming from by default. We just created it and we are using the default behavior. Okay, guys, yes, no, I need some response. Guys, hope we are connected. Okay, thanks, Aniket, Gautam. So let's see some more content. What all things are there? We have some hyperlinks are there. Okay, then resources. Here are some links. You can see resources. Here are some links. These things are getting printed. So all these things are there. What I'm going to do? I'm going to delete everything. Simple. Okay, and I'm going to give h1 header tag. This is my first Angular application, and I'll give one more tag. Let me give some button. You can say it's so easy. You just keep on writing, design your page as you want. Doesn't matter how you want to create it. I'll give one anchor tag, and I'll give no values. And this is something called false link. Nothing will work, but that's it. I just gave some items. I'm going to save this. The moment you save it, let me go here and just minimize it. I just deleted everything. I have not saved the file. Okay, the moment I save it, see the magic, what will happen. Okay, I saved it. Okay, something wrong I did. What did I do? False link, something. Let me remove it from here. Only one component I'm going to put. Okay, instead of button, I gave like this. Okay, and just keep 2 items, not more than that. And you can see I just saved the file, and only 2 items we kept it here, and you can see the difference, right? We'll add one more button. I'm going to just copy and paste it, and I'll just say I will practice. I'll practice now more, and I just created a button, and I'm just saving it. You can see 2 more buttons, 1 more button added up. Immediately, this nothing will work, but you can see from scratch you are going to create your application. That's the power of Angular. Okay, got it, guys? Clear? Yes, no? All good? Easy, fun. You guys can start playing with this, right? Design your application, put your colors, put your design, put your layouts, go through the tutorials, watch the sessions, see the materials, and start playing with this. I'll show you something else, okay? You see this button, how this looks like, right? So there is something called as bootstrap and angular material. You have to give some designs, right? This button looks very ugly, no? It looks lifeless, right? So there is called CSS, something called as CSS we studied, right? With CSS, you can design it, you can customize it, make it bigger, you can give color, you can give borders, padding. So rather than you doing it, there are ready-made, created, ready-made, pre-created. You can simply use it. That is called as Bootstrap and Angular. Okay. Yes, yes, Gautam, you are correct. So like those kind of things you can use it. But comes something called as Angular material. Let me show you Bootstrap first. How this looks like. Bootstrap, this is nothing but another, on top of that, some functionality you can learn. The Bootstrap button, how it looks like. Let me just quickly show you. These are the buttons. You can see, right? Just give some class. By giving class, this color gets changed. Different kinds of buttons are there. You can see the designs and all. Okay. So these are things, rather than you going and designing it, this class has all the design. You just give the class to the button. See, all are button only. Type is button only, but classes are different. And since the classes are different, their look and feel is different. Okay. So they have made it easy for us. You have to simply reuse it. That's what the beauty of reusability and breaking things and functionalities or features into small things so that someone can create and we can use it. Okay. Getting it, guys? Some idea? Yes, no? Guys, yes, no? I need some responses. I will show you quickly Angular material also if we have time. Following up, guys? All good? Easy? Fun? Getting bored? Hard? Too much complicated? All good? Okay, okay, fine. Thank you, thank you. So let me show you. You saw this. These are called Bootstrap buttons. With the help of Bootstrap, you can do. There is something called as Angular material also. Okay, using Angular material, you can design these things also. So what you have to do is nothing but simply install this. This is Angular material. We'll just install this. So you have to install this and start using it. Like I'll give you example of toggle button. This toggle only will take it. Okay. Toggle is just left, right. You know that toggle button, yes and no. In front end we have. So we'll see that how to create a toggle. Okay. So let me maximize it. And here I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to install this Angular material quickly. So what I'm going to do before that, before installing this, let me show you how you can create components, right? So that also we can see now. So you have this app component by default, right? Correct, guys? In index.html by default, parent component, app component is getting invoked, correct? You can create your own components. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the server for a moment. We'll rerun it, but what I'm going to do like food app. So what are the sections you see, guys, in food app? Can you just quickly tell me? Like for Amazon, you told me, no, food, grocery, and all those things. Now, what are the components you can think of in food? Dessert, main course, like that, no? What all? Just ping me, guys. Some. Let me take like this. I'm thinking of ng. So this is command for ng generate. Ng generate. What is that? Ng generate component and component name ng generate component, and you can give component say veg and non-veg. Aniket says veg and non-veg. So thanks, Aniket. I'm going to take that only. Veg and non-veg. Okay. I'm going to take veg and non-veg. So I created veg and non-veg. So one component with its own HTML, CSS and everything, it's getting created. You can see, right? Inside app, these child elements are getting created. If I open this, now you see inside app, where is this source? Inside app, one veg and non-veg got created, right? So this app has its own HTML and TypeScript and all these files. But on top of that, we create our own component. It will have its own veg component. It will have its own HTML, its own CSS. So this you can design it as you want, the veg section. What more, guys? Give me some more names. Let's create one more section called deserts, deserts. We can create. Let's create one more section. What all we can create? Guys, just ping me. I don't remember this app. What all sections you have in food section? Desert you have, veg, cold drinks. Thank you, Gautam. Cold drinks, beverages, right? That's what they call it, beverages. Beverages and okay, veg section. Okay, you guys. Okay, thank you. We'll take some veg. I'm just making it veggies. No, veggies will not be good. Veg. Okay, what else? What else? Just one or two more, guys, quickly. Then we'll see the interview questions. Any more? One section more? Done. You guys, vegan done, cold drink done. That's all. Breakfast. I'll take one last section called breakfast or snacks. Okay. Starter. Let's take this only. Thank you, Gautam. Starter. I'm gonna take starter component. Starter. Okay. Maybe if typo is there, just forgive me for that. So you can see these components are getting created. Now start working on component. You start working on this. Every component is individual. You see, all my components were created inside app. Beverages, deserts. They will have their own HTML, their own CSS, their own TypeScript, and you can design it as you want it. And you can give routing option. When you click on a link, you can give 4 links, beverages. The beverage section will open and design this section as you want it. You give a link on the main page called deserts. Start designing your HTML for desert. You will see desert page working. You give for starter, the starter page will work. So that's how you create components and design your application. Depending upon your requirement, you can create n number of components and design it as you need it. Okay, got it? Yes, no, all good so far. Easy, fun, interesting, boring. You are feeling sleepy? Yes, no, guys, I need some responses. Okay, feeling sleepy, wala yes, or something else? Easy. Okay, not feeling sleepy, right? Okay, okay. Pratham says it's easy. Aniket says yes. Okay, okay, guys. Now let me quickly show you this. Possible. I'm gonna show you how to add this Angular material. Using this, you can add designs. I mean, ready-made designs, custom designs like Bootstrap and Angular material. So what I have to do is simply install this. So I'm going to just install Angular material. I'm just giving this command. You can see it's installing it. So once this is installed, it's asking, do you want to proceed with the package? I will say yes. Coding is fun and interesting. Thank you, Gautam. Okay. Okay, now it's installing. It will take a couple of minutes and then it will install and then we are ready to use the Angular material directly, whether it is table, button, link, ready-made designs will come and this white lifeless elements will go away. I'll just show you one. So it's asking for CSS, just enter. Do you want global? Yeah, okay, yes. Keep on pressing yes, yes, yes. If you are not sure with anything, and include animations, yes. I'm selecting all the options. So this command line, you can see this command line did everything for me. Now it is installed. My Angular material is ready to be used. So let's take this example only. So you have to just write 2 pieces of code and you are ready to use it. You have to import this. So from Angular material, you have to import it. So you just install the Angular material library, right? So what I'm going to do is in my app module.ts, you can see everything is documented here also in your app module.ts file. Just import this line or anything. I'm going to show you toggle button. You can use anything. You want table, you want button, you want link. Just copy paste the code and you are ready to go. So I will go to this app module.ts, app module.ts. So here you can see some imports are there. And in the ng module, whatever you want to use, see by default your veg, non-veg, dessert, so whatever you want to use, your components are getting imported automatically. I want to use, see veg component came from parent source veg component. See whatever you added, it got added here, right? On top of this, I want to use some predefined from library. I want to use this match slide module. This will give me toggle button. So I have to write it in import and like this, I have to register this in my module also. So I'll just copy here And sorry, not this one, this math slide. I'm going to use this toggle button, so that's why I'm adding it here. That's all. You are good to go. So the way you directly use your wedge component, now you can use the toggle button. Thanks to Angular library import and registering it in the ng module. And I will show you in the app component only. Let's take app component. So let's quickly run this. Let me run this. And the command to run is ng search, and I'm just running it. Let's see if everything is working fine. Okay, something I did wrong. Let me see, guys. 1 second. ng module spelling and all. Everything is fine. Okay, in this app component. Okay, forget this. Something is going wrong here, but yeah, like that, you can just start importing it and adding it. I'm not sure why, because time is less. I'm not going to fix this now for you. Let me show you some other application if I have in my system. Like there is an application. Okay, you guys can try it out, practice it, try to fix this. Okay, so don't focus on this. This is something wrong. I will check it out later, but you can use it like this. Okay. So I'm going to close it for now, and I'm going to show you some other program. Okay. Okay, where do we have? Yeah, let me see, guys. I have some more application. Okay, workspace. Front end, I have. Okay. Debug tracking API. This is the backend. Okay. Okay, I think I don't have, guys, but yeah, you can try that out. Anything, anyways, you got some idea how to create it. Okay, so I don't have that, unfortunately. Sorry for that. I don't have that project, but yeah, you can try it out. You can start practicing, and you can create your own application and design it as you want it. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Yes, no, all good. Easy, right? Create your own component, design your application, play with buttons, links, try out something of your own. Okay. Let's look at some of the interview questions now. Okay, let me show you quickly some of the interview questions which I have. Okay, let me make it in read mode. Hope my screen is visible, guys. Yes, no? Can you quickly confirm, guys? I'll just give you a walkthrough of the questions. You can take this as a notes. Okay. Okay, thanks, Jyoti and Gautam. So these are a couple of questions. You can take this as a notes, whatever we covered. With that, and on top of that, there are many topics which I couldn't touch due to time constraint. But yes, you can start exploring, go through the session material, and practice the things and create something of your own. Any kind of application, doesn't matter very big or small, but the more you practice, the more you learn. Okay. Let me quickly walk through the slides and take this as notes. Okay. All questions related to Angular. Okay. Decorators, directives, property, component. How do you bind the element? Okay. One-way binding, two-way binding, the difference between them. And how do you use routing, events? Okay. What are the events? Then for testing, how do you create after creating the application, you test the application. Then directives we covered, for directives, switch directive, all those things we covered, if else. Okay. And ng model, we saw ng model, how it is working. Command line, using command line, how do you create component? So I just created ng space g space c, right? You can write full also. Ng space g or c is also fine. You can write shortcut also, that is okay. And then component name, starter or anything, whatever you give, it will work as it is. Okay. Then something called as resolvers, then routing, question related to routing, CLI, all of these things is done through CLI only, command line interface we called. Using that we do, and directives related to then data binding questions, then synchronous and asynchronous. Okay. Then HTTP, how do you use APIs to call the form data or some put, post, get, delete, all those things. Then HTTP client module, this is what you use for communicating through the REST APIs, how to handle the forms, template driven, reactive driven, okay, different kinds of form. Then ng template element, then some Angular EV, these are the new features, ng zone, okay, some of the inbuilt functions, some decorators, input, output, directives, all the 6 we covered. Then some third-party libraries for validations like JWT and all. This I couldn't show, but you got some idea that is used for some validation kind of thing. Okay. Then what else we have? If else, this also we saw. Then dependency injection, one component is used in another component. So that's all, guys. I think that's all for the sessions today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I can answer to that. Okay, practice more, guys. Create some application of your own, and that will make things more clear and easy for you. Okay, it's very simple. Within seconds, you can create application and you can start playing with it. Design something like Myntra, Flipkart, not that big, but at least small application, something of your own. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Alekia. Okay, guys, that's all from me. If you don't have any questions, we'll see you guys tomorrow with the database side and some framework, whatever, how do you integrate it? We have the front end ready, we have the logic ready using Java, APIs ready. Now we have to see the communication with database, how your application will save data in the database. And on top of that, what are the frameworks we can use? That's all we are going to cover tomorrow. Okay, that's all for today's session, guys. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm still waiting for any questions in the chat. If not, thank you so much for being with me, and I wish you all the very best. And that's all from my end, guys. Thank you so much. Amar sir, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So guys, please mark your attendance. Any query, any question, please drop in chat box. Sunny, there is one question from YouTube. Sir, what will be the thought for tomorrow?
Sir, what was the question? Sorry.
Actually, question is what we are going to cover on tomorrow's session.
Okay, tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we covered, since now we have covered, okay, Atharv is asking, I think, right? So Atharv, tomorrow we are going to cover the database side. And in the database, how you are going to actually save the data, how they will be stored in data, from there, how you can fetch it through this front end. There should be something in the back end, right? From till now, whatever we created is there in the front end and all. So you have to push this data to the back end in the actual database. So that side we are going to see tomorrow. And on top of database, how you are going to use couple of frameworks that will help our Java program to fetch the data from database and throw it to your front end, maybe React or Angular or whatever you have used. That's what we are going to cover tomorrow. Plus some interview tips and tricks. I will also give you that. And that will be all we'll be covering. This will cover our entire journey of full stack, front end, back end, middle layer, as well as the database layer. Hope I answered your question, Atharva. Okay, this is what we are going to cover.
So Saurabh is asking, tomorrow is the last day of our course. Yes, tomorrow is the last day of our course. It's day 5. Sir, can you send the attendance link again? Yes, I'm sharing with all of you. So please mark your attendance and share your feedback as well. So there no query, Rutuja. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Yes, Gautam. According to me, it's yes.
Yes, yes. If you know both, right, it's an advantage because in industry, you don't know in which project you are going to land. People are using both nowadays. Many projects are there in Angular also, and since React is more faster and efficient, but since projects are there, you don't know in which project you will be put into, right? Once you enter the industry, so that time you cannot go and say there, I know React, I don't know Angular. So it's better if you prepare yourself accordingly, right? That's what a full stack means, no? Full stack means full stack. Put me anywhere, I can run the show. That's what a full stack developer means, correct? So there should not be boundary to your resume. So it's better you learn. You can just learn Angular also directly, not an issue. You can learn only React also. But why are you limiting yourself? Correct, no? So use the technology, use your time, use your talent, use your patience, learn everything, and be the master of everything. Okay, Gautam? Thanks, Gautam.
Meta is asking, sir, I forgot to mark attendance yesterday. So yesterday is not going to come today. So sorry, I'm not able to share the attendance link as well. Because the attendance is open between the specified time of 8:30 to 9:30. Anyway, 60% attendance is mandatory, Meta. So don't worry about it. How to check videos of the sessions? So you need to visit LMS, then you will get the recorded sessions with material as well. So by tomorrow, end of the day, we'll upload all the material and all the PPTs over the LMS once we're done with the program. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, anything else, sir? When we can get the certificate? There is one question from Nandini. So, Nandini, regarding to the certificates and upcoming programs, I will explain all the things on tomorrow's session. Okay, so be there. Any other question, guys? If there is no any question, then we'll wind up for the day. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the session. We'll meet you on tomorrow.